Here we go then, guys. This is it. First game of the Euros. Three Lions, ready. Croatia at Wembley. Uh, Hopefully there's about 25,000-30,000 people there, I imagine, today. Obviously with COVID going on. So let's kick into it. Obviously there's rumours of the formation that Southgate is actually going to play 4 at the back as opposed to 5. Don't see why Mings is there. That's an accident waiting to happen. And Trippier at left back. Then what's the point in taking essentially 3 left backs with Shaw, Chilwell and Saka? Why? Rice and Phillips in midfield doesn't really complement each other, but it's more of a safety first kind of option. It's apparently Foden's going to start, which is well deserved. The big shock for me is obviously Sterling starting. It petered off a lot, same as Rashford. I wouldn't have played either of them. But obviously the biggest surprise is Grealish not playing. Grealish is the difference maker in this team. He gets on the ball, dribbles, makes things happen, draws in the fouls, creates a lot of space. And then obviously you've got Harry Kane. Harry Kane will win the Golden Boot. The only reason I could probably see him starting Sterling is purely of the pace, because Kane likes to drop deep. If you watch how he plays with Tottenham with Son, he drops deep and then Son goes in behind to create that bit of space. That's the only reason I can say Sterling. But then if you're going to do that and play it on the left, I'd probably play Rashford, because Rashford is a better finisher if that's the angle that you're going for. But personally, I wouldn't play either of them. Obviously, I think Mount will start at 10. So it'll be Mount at 10, Foden on the right, Sterling on the left, and obviously nobody's going to take Kane's place. He's the best number 9 in the world, in my opinion. Obviously, England are coming into this in quite good form. They've won 8 of the last 11 games, as opposed to Croatia, who's won 3 of the last 11. I mean, they've still got Modric, Brozovic, Rebic, Kramaric, Kovacic, Ivanovic. Not really that good anymore. They had a really good tournament. Obviously, they came second in the 2018 World Cup. But I just think today England are going to have a little bit too much for them. Obviously, there's a big statistic that England's never won the opening game of the Euros. But I just think now, with it being at Wembley, the attacking talent that we've got, obviously the big debate of the week is he going to play 5 at the back or is he going to play the 4? If he plays the 4, essentially a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, England should essentially wipe the floor with these. Obviously, you've got Calvin Phillips in there. He's a willing runner. So if you look at Leeds have the highest statistics in the Premier League for most sprints covered. It's a mad sort of statistic. So fitness will be fine. Obviously, Declan Rice is a player that surprised me. Before last season, I didn't really think too much to him. I didn't really see what he gave you. But having watched him in the season at West Ham, he's a baller. So that's very good. But yeah, I think England will win this. If I'm thinking with my head, I think England will win this 2-0. But if I think with my heart, I'm going a bit ludicrous. It's going to be 4-0. England 4-0. But Kane will definitely score. That's an absolute certainty today. And then obviously we'll go on to the next game, which is obviously Austria against Macedonia. So Austria have won 6 of the last 11. They've got David Alaba there, who's just signed for Real Madrid, obviously, after leaving Bayern Munich, after winning tons and tons and tons of trophies. But he's on like 400 grand a week. Nice work if you can get it, obviously. I can't trap a bag of cement, so I'm quite envious. You've got Sabitzer, obviously the midfielder from Leipzig. I think he'll score today. Very, very good footballer when I've seen him play for Leipzig in the Champions League. And then the surprising one is Marko Arnautovic. Obviously, used to play for Stoke City. And then obviously went to West Ham for like 20 million. And then he's gone to China to get that cashola. See what he's still about. See if he can still cut it at this sort of level against Macedonia. Ooh, it's the first time qualifying for a major tournament. But surprisingly, everybody's been writing Macedonia off, which is understandable. But Macedonia have actually won 7 of the last 11 games, also beating Germany in qualifying, which obviously not the same Germany of old, but I mean, Germany's Germany. They've still, you can only beat what's there in front of you. So that was quite good for them. Obviously, the only player that I know of from the Macedonia team is obviously Alioski, the guy at Leeds. Uh, Pretty much plays everywhere. And Goran Pandev, because he's been about for about 40 years. Looks about 80. On form wise, it's quite a close contest, but I'm probably going to go with an Austria win 2-1, and I think Sabitzer will score. And then the final game of the evening, we've got Holland. Obviously, they've got no De Ligt, and obviously Van Dijk isn't fit. So how's that going to affect them? How they're going to play? Wijnaldum's their captain. Obviously, just secured a massive move now to PSG on a free transfer. I mean, you had the chance to play with Messi, or you can go play with Neymar and Mbappe and get double your wages, basically. So pretty much a no-brainer. Obviously, he's come out and said the reason he's gone to PSG is because Barcelona delayed the talks. It took 4 weeks for him to make a decision. They didn't, and he's got a better offer, basically. So, yeah, good on him. It was a very, very good, talented player, was Wijnaldum. Obviously, in the Premier League at Newcastle and then at Liverpool, won the Champions League, Premier League. I think he was a little bit poor last season from his usual high standards. But I think that's just because your last year of your contract and you're not getting what you want. I don't think your head was really in the game. That's fine. And then obviously you've got Depay. Obviously went to United. Didn't work out for him for whatever reason. But he's gone to Lyon, rebuilt himself. He's now a free agent. You know, you've got a lot of teams looking at him, especially Barcelona, who seem to be raiding the free transfer market this summer because obviously they're practically bankrupt. So, but they're in quite good form as well. They've won 6 of the last 11. Some people fancy Holland. I think they'll get out of the group. I don't think they'll do much more. They won 6 of the last 11. And then obviously going to Ukraine. Ukraine won 4 of the last 11. They've got Zinchenko playing for them. But I think he plays in midfield for Ukraine as opposed to I think he plays on the left side of midfield as opposed to left back for Ukraine as what he does for Man City, so to speak. And then obviously you've got Yarmolenko. So I was quite excited when West Ham signed Yarmolenko because he was meant to be the replacement for Shevchenko, who is obviously now the manager of the Ukrainian national team. But he just hasn't really seemed to have done it in the Premier League. So they've only won 4 of the last 11, so they're not going in fantastic form into this competition. But obviously, I think that one, I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Holland. It'll be 1-0 and Depay will score. And then obviously, the main focus is it's the big one. It's England. Let's just get ridiculous. Let's get behind it. He's not playing 5 at the back. You know, you've got 2 out of the 3 in there of Mount Foden and Grealish. Personally, Grealish should be in there. Obviously, if you looked at the last 2 games that England have played, he's been England's best player, basically. Gets on the ball, makes stuff happen. But, you know what, so do the other 2. And then you've still got Sancho, Rashford, and Grealish coming off the bench. So, it's nice to have options. So, yeah, here we go then. Let's have a look and see what happens today then. Thanks for watching, guys. Up the England.